Guess who's back? Back again. Larson! He's back. Tell a friend.
He definitely took the most difficult path to get there, but Kyle Larson will be driving a Hendrick Motorsports Chevrolet next year. It is official. The deal has been done. He has signed the dotted line, and the car number is 5. That's right. Hendrick Motorsports, of course, very closely associated with that number 5 car. We're going to talk about that real quick, and then we'll jump into the Larson thing. But the number 5 car is going to come back at Hendrick Motorsports. You know, the past few years, I want to say 3 years since 2018, it's been the 9, the 24, the 48, and the 88. And they decided to move Alex Bowman to the 48 instead of staying in the 88. They're moving him to the 48 and giving him the Ally sponsorship. And of course, now they are changing that 4th car number to the 5 car. So obviously the 88 came into play with Dale Earnhardt Jr. back in 2008, I believe. And then it's been there ever since, but they will go back to the 5, the number they have not run since 2017 with Casey Kane. Casey Kane winning a race that year in the Brickyard 400. Of course, a lot of meaning for that car number with Hendrick Motorsports. It was the first car they ever ran back in 1984, I think, with Jeff Bodine. They won a race which saved Hendrick Motorsports. We all know that story, how they were about to shut down, but they won that race at Martinsville and it saved the team, and the rest is history. Gordon got 4 championships, Jimmy got 7. Lots of wins in between, so yeah. Run by since 1984, as I've said. It's been run by lots of different drivers. Casey Kane, as I said, the most recent. Some other notable drivers, Mark Martin, Kyle Busch, Ricky Rudd. Those are just a few of the significant drivers who have driven the 5 car over the years for Hendrick Motorsports. So Larson adding his name to his list. According to Hendrick Motorsports, they will be the 10th driver to field the number for the organization. So yeah, that's the history of the number right there, I guess. Number 5, it's obviously very sentimental to Rick Hendrick because they've had it for so long. And of course, I think in the Busch Series, back when it was the Busch Series, I think his son Ricky also ran that number. Unfortunately, he passed away back in 2004 in a plane crash. So I'm sure there are multiple reasons that Rick Hendrick is very close to that number, why he loves running that number just for sentimental purposes. And I'm sure he's really excited to see it back on the track. I somehow forgot to mention this, but next year, the crew chief for the number 5 car will be Cliff Daniels. He is currently the crew chief of the number 48. And of course, the 88 team basically is moving to the 48 car. So that's going to be Greg Ives, Alex Bowman. But Cliff Daniels will be the crew chief for the 5 car and Kyle Larson. As for Larson, he is back, as you saw at the beginning of the video. After the past couple of weeks, I'm not shocked. Before the season, I was saying Larson to the 48. He's going to replace Jimmy because he seemed like the best option. His contract was up. He seemed like the best option. He's a young, talented driver. Then April happened. Kyle Larson used a racial slur, and I was like, wow, that was really bad. You might not have a ride next year. But Kyle Larson, to his credit, he has picked himself up and he has bettered himself. He really has. We talked about that when he got reinstated a couple weeks ago. He really has bettered himself. He's gone and he has educated himself on just a lot of stuff in life, whether it be going to the Urban Center or the NASCAR Drive for Diversity. He's been bettering himself, learning. He's been educating himself, as I've said. And with the racial the tensions about racial, social injustice and all that stuff recently, that definitely had to have, it was a very chaotic time when this all happened. So I'm sure that Larson definitely learned a lot during these past few months. And he wasn't, as I said in that last video, he wasn't bragging about it. He wasn't on Twitter taking a selfie saying, look where I am, I'm definitely better now, sign me, LOL, or something like that. He was legitimately going out, talking to people, learning about different ethnicities, different people, different whatever it may be. And he was really, truly bettering himself, and he wasn't bragging about it to the world. Some other people saw him there, and they took a picture from afar, and they posted it, and that's how we know he did all this stuff. He did open up in a CBS interview, I believe, and talked about some of the things he's done, but I don't think he listed all the things. But Kyle Larson truly has bettered himself, I believe. There's no excusing what he did back in April. He still said a racial slur, which should never be said, which was very stupid. But he really has bettered himself. He seems like he's learned from the mistake, and that's what life's about, learning from your mistakes. And I believe in second chances. There's a clip from the Dale Jr. download that they're releasing later today. I recommend you go listen to that. I'm going to be listening to it. But basically, Rick Hendrick said this country's about second chances, and I think you deserve one. You truly seem like you've bettered yourself. You truly seem like you've learned from your experience, and I think you deserve a better second shot. So I agree. Back in April, I did not think Larson was going to get in a Cup car in 2021, let alone a competitive Cup car. But here we are. He's in the 5 car. I keep on wanting to say the 48, but he's in the 5 car. So good for him. But as for his talent, this is a great move for Hendrick Motorsports. Kyle Larson is arguably the best young driver in NASCAR. 6 wins in the Chip Ganassi 42 car over the past few years. He drove there from 2014 to 2019 in full-time season as a full-time driver, and then of course raced the first 4 races this year before the pandemic, and then when he got fired. Anyways, back to his racing. He's had a pretty successful career, I'd say. Chip Ganassi Racing is not top equipment. That's not a question. They're not a Joe Gibbs. They're not a Penske. They're not a Stuart Haas. They're not a Hendrick. They're probably the B level. If there's like an A level, they're the B level. So they're definitely not the best equipment, and he was winning. He was winning there. He was definitely inconsistent. I'm not going to sit here and be like he's the most consistent driver ever. He wasn't inconsistent, but once again, it was not great equipment. Next year, he's going to be in great equipment. Hendrick Motorsports, though, they have been down the past couple of years. They're still a top team. We see Chase Elliott get multiple wins every year. We see Alex Bowman now winning multiple races. We've seen William Byron get in victory lane, and ironically, the only one who hasn't won is a 7-time champion Jimmy Johnson. So Hendrick Motorsports is still capable of winning. They won a championship 4 years ago. They're still winning races, all types of races, road courses, short tracks, super speedways. They've won everything, it seems like. So they're still a winning race team, and Kyle Larson, and I'm sure this is his opportunity. He was in Chip Ganassi Racing equipment all those years, and a lot of people gave him crap for it. They're like, you're not winning enough. This is his opportunity to prove the haters wrong, I guess, and say, hey, I can win in this top-tier equipment. So I think he's got to win in this equipment. This is his best equipment he's had in the Cup Series by far, and he's got to take advantage of it, and he's got to go out and win races. Not make it into the playoffs, not maybe make it to the round of 12 at best. I'm talking about he's got to win races and make a deep playoff run if he wants to stay at Hendrick Motorsports in the long haul. Hendrick Motorsports, they did sign him to a multi-year deal, I believe. The official statement they gave, Kyle is unquestionably one of the most talented race car drivers in the world, said Rick Hendrick. He has championship-level ability and will be a significant addition to our on-track program. More importantly, I have full confidence that he understands our expectations and will be a tremendous ambassador for our team, our partners in NASCAR. Kyle and I have had many conversations leading up to today's announcement. I'm confident about what's in his heart and his desire to be a champion in all aspects of his life and career. Kyle has done important work over the past 6 months, and Hendrick Motorsports is going to support those continued efforts. Now, it also talks about, it says since 2018, he's been a volunteer with the Urban Youth Racing School, which is in Philadelphia. And then Larson also began working with the Minneapolis-based Santa Foundation, I don't know if I pronounced that correct or incorrect, to advance diversity, equity, and community well-being. That's Hendrick Motorsports' statement. Kyle Larson posted a tweet of him signing the contract, and he said, humbled, honored, and so grateful for this next chapter in my life. Thank you, Team Hendrick. Look forward to great things on and off the track. I think this is a good match. Once again, I said last year, I think Larson to the 48 at the time, the 48. I think that's a good matchup. Larson, he's proved himself. He deserves a better ride than Chip Ganassi Racing. He deserves to go out and win races with Hendrick Motorsports. After April, that was definitely rocky, but over the past few months, as Larson's bettered himself, as Larson's tried to improve himself, look, let's be honest, people aren't going to forget about this. Larson, what he did was stupid. It was idiotic. People aren't going to forget about it. That's not a question. It's true. It's just true. But, you know, he really has seemed like he's gone out and bettered himself. So I think that's definitely, as my email goes off, sorry about that. I think that's important that he has gone and tried to better himself, tried to learn from this mistake. And I think that's what's great about it. Some people after this, they may just go into hiding and never speak. They just may just go hide away forever, never try to better themselves or anything out of fear of scrutiny, being criticized, being bashed, or whatever. Larson truly has said, you know what? I made a mistake. I'm going to go learn from it. So shout out to Kyle Larson for that. Obviously, the mistake was still stupid. There's no defending it. I'm going to keep saying that. But I really do think this is a good opportunity for him. I think that this is really a good match made. Rick Hendrick, he knows talent. We've seen some of the talent at Hendrick Motorsports. Have you ever heard of Jeff Gordon or Jimmy Johnson? But also, random fact of the day, according to Eric Estep, in 2015, all 4 Hendrick drivers were over the age of 35, with Jeff Gordon, Casey Kane, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Jimmy Johnson. In 2021, all 4 drivers will be under the age of 29. That's right. They go from old, or somewhat old, I guess, to young. This is a very young team now. This is probably one of the youngest rosters, I would guess, maybe. But yeah, they got a lot of young talent there that they got to produce. It's going to be really interesting to see how they do. Obviously, I think Elliott and Larson are the best 2 there right now, with the Bowman in 3rd, Byron in 4th. They got a really young team. They got a lot to prove. So I think that'll be interesting to see how that goes next year. We'll talk about that more in the 2021 preview. But yeah, dude, I'm not shocked anymore. I would have been shocked if you told me this back in April. I'm not shocked now. But yeah, Kyle Larson did the 5 car. The 5 car is back. Kyle Larson is back. What else can you say? I mean, that's good for him. Good for him. He, as I said multiple times, I'm going to keep pushing this point. I think he really has bettered himself. He's he's one of the most talented drivers in the world. We see him freaking destroy everyone on dirt, like win every single race. And then in the Cup Series, in the Xfinity Series, we saw him win races there. So, you know, he's one of the most talented drivers, young drivers in NASCAR. I truly believe that. I think next year's a big opportunity for him in the next couple of years. You know, this first year with Hendrick Motorsports, I think there's a little more leeway, trying to learn each other, trying to learn the car. And then, of course, the next gen car in 2022 can be interesting. But it's going to be an interesting year next year to see how they do together. But yeah, Kyle Larson, Hendrick Motorsports, a match made that we were expecting. But yeah, I really don't know what else to say on that. We potentially got a race today. I don't know what the heck is going on. The weather's looking good this afternoon, so we might actually get it in. We might not. If we don't get it in this afternoon, I'm going to be very sad. But yeah, Texas Motor Speedway this afternoon. I guess Hendrick Motorsports was trying to wait till the race was over, but they said, screw it, let's advance it. Let's announce it before the race. Mid-race. They announced it mid-race, technically. How about that? Way to go. But yeah, the 5 cars back. Kyle Larson's back. Hendrick Motorsports is a very strong, young stable. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like, subscribe, all that stuff.